I just thought of something too, and you can edit this back into the other question. But of when I first found out about it, my very first thought was, do I have it?
We went to the same urgent care clinic I went to initially, and they did the test, and we called looking for the results, and they went and asked the doctor, hey, can we tell them? And they did, and they said, you're negative. And Jeremy hung up the phone and he broke down.
Got a game on there where the man be running through the jungle, and you gotta swipe it to make him jump. My motherfucker ran into trees and shit because I wasn't swiping at the time. Then they got one on there where you slice fruit, but then they throw up bombs too. So you gotta be careful so you don't hit the bomb.
I was very comfortable with assessing the risk. I mean, I don't bottom, so not enough. But so all things considered, it's really low risk. And having seen Peter between all of his motorcycle accidents and heart attacks and blah blah blah, you kind of get comfortable with the fact that we're all mortal at some point. You just have to live your life.
We didn't know what this stuff was. It happens to other people. It doesn't happen to us.
Yeah, that was something, in my mind, that the gay population in the city has to worry about. It has to worry about being positive. In my mind, it wasn't in the country. It was, and so just to hear that was just, it was undescribable. Hello, my name is Ryan James, and I'm in Indiana, and this is my partner.
Hello, I'm Jeremy, and I'm in Indiana as well.
How did we meet? We met through one of my friends of mine. One of my friends knew him. It was an interesting time in my life, and so I moved in with him, and
he came over for a visit and just started talking, and he's, it's like, I'm gay, but I'm joining the Navy and marrying a woman so I can have a normal life, and he was going to be homeless, basically, is what it was, and didn't get along with his family too well. And I was like, you can't. I was in the Air Force, and, I knew how bad it can be for a gay person trying to hide, I was like, this is going to be totally unhealthy for you. I've got a separate, I've got a bedroom that you can have, and I have a job for you. I own a cleaning company, and I can put you to work.
Used to, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't anymore. At the time, I did. I can remember the exact moment when I fell in love with him. Now, I don't know if he can tell, if he can tell you when he fell in love with me, but
I can.
He was we cleaned this particular school, and it took my whole crew to clean it, so he was there every night. And of course, I thought he was good looking, he is. But he didn't know anybody was around. He didn't know I was there, and he was cleaning this classroom, and he was vacuuming, and he had on headphones as he was vacuuming this classroom floor. And you ought to get him to do it for you, but he was just doing this cute little dance, just showing how happy he was just a happy person. And I looked in there and saw him, and I was like, that's him.
Now, see if you can witness a dangerous event. Every morning before I go to work, I always wake Ryan up, try to give him a kiss goodbye, tell him I love him. Because with this dangerous job, you never know if it's the last time you get to say I love you or not. So I take advantage of as many chances as I get to say I love you, because you just never know what's going to happen in your day. So I'm going to try to wake him up, give him a kiss. Sometimes he hits me because he's having bad dreams and stuff. So we'll see what happens. Dun dun dun. Cue scary music. Love you, baby.
And so I had the very interesting task of going out of the doctor's office and calling my partner of 8, 9, 50 years, whatever it's been, and telling him over the phone while he's trying to work, and he's away 4 hours away from us, and I have to tell him, hey, he says, what was it? Was it cancer? And I said, no, and I kind of laughed and I said, I'm HIV positive, and there was just silence. And that was my end of it. So I don't know how, I can only imagine from his point of view.
Hello. My name is Mel Bailey. This is my loving significant other, Dina, who I love to death. We've been through a lot together, and she's positive HIV and I'm negative, but regardless to whatever goes on in our life, I love her enough.
Yeah, put your cell phones on silent, please.
All right, please.
Well, I don't know what to talk about.
Okay, well.
Let her, she's a talker.
Well, hi, I'm Dina Lewis Sally, okay? And here with my significant other, Melvin, Mel Bailey, okay?
Only my grandmother calls me Melvin.
I call him Melvin when I'm mad at him, okay? We met back in the 90s. I was in my 30s at that time. You were almost 40.
I was in my 20s.
You're right. He chased me down the street.
Chased her.
He chased me down the street, and I ran.
I finally caught
But
her.
But yep, he caught me. I slowed up a little bit. That's why. Anyway, but
in those days, we were both in an active addiction, smoking crack cocaine and whatever else we could medicate ourselves with. And but I loved her dearly then, and I love her dearly now. And it got so bad with the drugs that I chose to seek help and recovery. I asked her to go with me. She wasn't ready at the time, so I left.
Well, like I said, in 2002, I went to get clean, and then I started living life the way life should not just exist, and I started living life. And I got a job, and I did well, and then I got laid off. And we both got married in between the process, and we both he got divorced, but then I didn't get divorced until I got back with him. But we're both divorced, right? So, but then we just happened to meet up. And I'm going to tell you something I'm going to reveal something today that you never knew this.
What?
The day that we met was my wedding anniversary. Yes, June 16th. That's when I got married. Yeah, and that's the day that we met. But I was like, that's the day that I got married. But anyway, so now that's the day that I met back up with Mel. And since that day, we've been yes, it was like two magnets. Phil, did anybody ask you for any help? You didn't help eat the calamari, did you? Well, I have a little bit. No, you didn't know what you call it? Calamari. Squid. I don't know what's my squid. What you gotta say for yourself?
Calamari.
Oh, I can go first. My name's Peter Bradshaw. What was the question? I'm supposed to tell you who I am.
Right, where are you?
Where are we? I'm right here in Portland, Oregon. Glorious Portland, Oregon. I am semi-retired from being self-unemployed.
I'm John Bell. I'm also in Portland, and I do fundraising and messaging for the local public broadcasting affiliate. We met in the only gay bar in State College, Pennsylvania.
Tiny little place.
And since it was the only gay bar, everybody had to go there, even if you didn't like each other. And so,
and boy, we didn't like each other.
We hated each other for many years.
Wasn't that long.
He was the tired old drunk at the end of the bar, and I was the
cynical. I was the cynical drunk, hard drinking, cynical son of a bitch.
And I was the self-important campus busybody. So we would just yell obscenities at each other across the bar. But he was still really cute. So one night we were drunk, I followed him home. We had really good sex. So we finally had to start talking after that.
That was 25 years ago.
So we found out that Pete was positive because I had been very active in the campus AIDS community. And so I had been tested frequently and kept encouraging people to get tested. And then finally, when Peter and I started to get serious, I kind of forced the issue and made him get tested.
Let me tell you, I just happened to be, it was, when was it?
June 16th.
Was it June 16th?
Yeah, it was.
Well, my niece was living with me at the time. She's like, Uncle Mel, we going out tonight. Would you please go to the state store and get me a bottle or whatever.
And my daughter called me and asked me to take my son-in-law to the state store.
So
and
now, I walk in the state store.
And I was just standing there.
Like a
with my back to him.
Right off of a construction job. Looking like whatever. So I noticed this figure. I was like, oh my gosh, she sure do have a nice... And then when she turned around, it was Dina, right?
No, you called my name before I even turned around.
But when she turned, you just don't know how the joy that was in my heart to see her looking so good. To have come so far looking so good, and it's...
Right out of the movie.
Yeah, I'm just, and it was like, I loved her to death then, but other things were in the way. Mm-hmm. I never lost my love for her. As soon as I saw her, I was like, this is it. Okay. Yeah, she's ready. I got my woman, So, she came and visited me a couple of times in my house. And, she said, I have something to tell you. She said, I want to be honest with you about something.
So I eased my way into it. And then he was like, well, what is it? Tell me. I told him I had to tell him something over the phone. And he was like, what? I was, nope, I got to tell you this in person because I want to see your face when I tell you. Okay? And he was, well, come on over here. And I was, well, I got something to do. But when I told him, his face, that's what made me know it was going to be okay because his face never changed.
I had assumed all along that I was positive. So it was no great shock to me. I think it was more troubling for this guy than for me.
It's funny you say that because looking back on it, I don't remember it being affecting me that much. I have a pretty good compartmentalization routine. But back in those days, it was, aside from a few outliers, it was a pretty quick death. I'm not sure how soon we met with the doctor and they gave Pete 6 months to live prognosis. So I kind of went into this, this little interior place where I would be the noble widower, and he'd die quickly and I would be there for him and then it would be over and I would move on and this would just be kind of an interesting chapter of my life, which is awfully callous, but that's kind of that was my coping mechanism at the time.
It took a couple of years, really, of me strangely not dying before we began to think that maybe it wasn't going to happen after all. At least not predictably.
I'm on my meds. I have a life today and I want to live it and I'm going to enjoy it and I know that I can, and I've been very blessed that any type of medicine that they give me and they tell me that I'm going to have this type of reaction or side effect, I never get them. I never get, like they told me that the medicine was going to make me have wild, vivid dreams, and I was looking forward to it. And I never get them. Never. And so I be disappointed, but I'm taking my medicine, and I'm doing well. I've been undetectable for over 10 years, so I'm doing the right thing.
Yep.
So, and I'm going to continue to do it. I have no problem doing it.
It has no bearing on her life at all. None whatsoever. I mean, I just know she's HIV positive. I'm positive. That's it. That's as far as it goes in my...
And we started looking up, okay, what do we need to do in the very beginning? And the first thing we did when I got home was we scrubbed the house for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And we're not slobs or anything, but we got the bleach out and we scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed because we wanted it as clean as possible. We went and bought an air purifier. I mean, we probably went a little overboard, but we didn't know what to do.
Right.
So we just scrubbed the house, and then after we were just totally exhausted, we sat down and were like, okay, this is day one. What do we do tomorrow? You know, we went to, a week after his diagnosis, we went to the emergency room in the middle of the night because he thought he was dying.
I was having a panic attack.
And you just don't know. Yeah, we didn't know what to do. So he's waking me up, and he wakes me up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm exhausted. You know, I've been gone all week, and he's like, well, I can't breathe. And I was like, well, you sound like you're breathing okay. He's like, I can't breathe, I'm telling you. And I'm like, baby, you're yelling at me, so I know you can breathe.
My family is involved in my treatment and in my...
They weren't at first, though.
Well, they were without being involved. They let me stay here, but there was some fights and some things that may have been said. And I think now that...
they didn't know about it either.
Right, they didn't know anything other than that was what the gay people got when God didn't like them. You know, and not to sound whatever, but...
They made them sleep on the floor, and that just broke my heart. But both of them have really educated themselves.
Right.
So you can't hold anything against anybody when they don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
You know, and they have really taken the initiative.
And it's like, I really want to disclose to his mother, but he doesn't want me to because he... Well, see,
I'm afraid they'll turn on her.
I don't...
You know
his mother was a nurse.
But still, she was an LGPRN, licensed general practitioner, registered nurse. But still, I'm her son, right? And out of ignorance of the virus,
Mom ain't ignorant.
But the protection for me.
You know, but like my family knows. My daughter, my brother, my grandchildren, they all know.
What about friends?
Some friends know. Some.
What about Mel's friends?
Oh no, it's underneath.
I don't have any friends. Seriously, I don't. That's the truth. I hate to say this, but I don't like people.
Peter's very good at self-neglect. So, you know, I'm the one that brings him the pills every morning and calls him at lunchtime to nag him to take his Nooners, and
just don't have to worry about our health that much anymore relative to HIV.
Right. Yeah.
Although you still have to worry about all the side effects. I mean, Pete's got neuropathy, you know, so there's that, you know, makes it difficult to walk the dog for long distances. There's been some cognitive degradation, but, you know, some of that could have been from the open heart surgery. Part of it could be we're getting older, we drink too much.
Part of it could be from my bashing my brains around.
Do you still ride the motorcycle?
Oh, yes.
I'm the type of person that if it don't work, I I ain't got no problem with saying the hell with it, fuck it, I'm out of here. Moving right along. And then when I get to the door, then he grabs me.
It ain't going down like that.
As a matter of fact,
Boy,
we had one of them last night.
Let me tell you. Boy, I just can't let her walk through that door.
I don't necessarily get the luxury of learning. You know, I mean, they tell me that whatever it is, and I have to know it right then and there because it plays on so much more that, and in some weird way, it has kind of woken me up to where, I mean, I failed high school chemistry like 3 times. I was never good at science, and now I see all the little numbers on the computer, and I see the pictures, and I see everything, and I'm thinking, you know, that's me. And I know what it all means now, and that's, as weird as it is, I mean, that's really cool. And it's kind of given me a new, I mean, I had no real drive before, and it was, you know, now I'm like, you know, I'm gonna get involved, and I'm gonna start doing stuff because it's.
He was always a housewife, and you know, never any real aspirations to do anything. And now he's like, I'm gonna go back to school. I'm gonna start doing this. You know, when he was first diagnosed, he's like, that's it, I'm dead.
I'm at the doctor's office alone because Jeremy's out working. This is probably the hardest thing for me, is not having him here with me while I'm waiting on the doctor and talking to the doctor and finding out everything.
We talked about it, decided for ourselves what risks we were prepared to take. And over time, we became less safe, but still weren't doing anything risky. And I've mentioned that to a number of people in conversation, and a lot of people are very, very uncomfortable with that.
I was very comfortable with assessing the risk. I mean, I don't bottom, so you know,
not enough.
But so you know, all things considered, it's really low risk. And having seen Peter between all of his motorcycle accidents and heart attacks and blah blah blah, you know, you kind of get comfortable with the fact that we're all mortal at some point. You just have to live your life.
It's just been it's been very interesting in that you wake up every day and everything's just so much more important. Or if it's not important, it's like, screw it. You know, what does it matter? We go for what's important. And when, you know, we talk on the phone through the week, but then he's gone, and so he comes home on like Thursday night or Friday afternoon. And when that happens, it's us time until Monday morning at 2:00 in the morning when he leaves. In a weird way, it's probably going to sound wrong, but I don't know of any better way to say it. It's one of the best thing that's happened to me, because it really, I mean, I know that you think, I would rather it not have had to happen to come to this point, but it was kind of that kick in the butt to get up and, you know, I mean, it just really kind of jump-started.
It's me. It's me, Josh. Me. Gotta take my meds.
Our neighborhood is really tight knit. You know, we do a lot of stuff for the kids. You know, block parties every year. I mean,
I can go out at the block party. At the block party, I go out.
See, this is something new. I don't care who she talks to. This is
You're a liar.
Her
You're a liar. You're a liar. You don't want me talking to You don't want me talking to no males. Put it that way. Anyway, because it's like, okay, it's this one thing.
I'm very jealous.
Yeah. Hello, okay.
My favorite show is Downton Abbey. I love that show, and in that show, I've taken a line that one of the characters says. She says, when bad things happen, there's no point in questioning why they've happened. All you can try to do is minimize the damage. And I've taken that philosophy from day one to where there were some times when I was rather upset about having gotten it and just whatever. And I got mad, but I just realized that that's not going to change anything. So we just need to figure out what's going to keep me the healthiest and us the happiest.
Very pretty, but it's going to be ours.
We're not homeless anymore.
Nope. This is our home now. And it's going to be real pretty once it's done. But it's all, since I can't do certain things, he's doing them. And then when we move in, I'm going to do the decorating, get the house set up and all that. So it's not that I'm doing nothing. It's just what I'm going to do hasn't arrived yet.
So I think, after 20 some years, you realize that, HIV, AIDS is not the death sentence it used to be. And that you get over that fear of infection just because you're living together all the time and you're not fingering in the kitchen and you got a bloody nose or you're puking because you're sick. And after 20 years, you realize that it's not that easy to catch. And so you come to realize that, well, at least I came to realize that, my situation is no different than my mother's dealing with my father's, Alzheimer's, or people who've been together for a long time, and, life happens to you and you have to deal with it as it comes. So
I'll ask you guys as your final thought, even outside of HIV, what have you learned from being in a relationship for 25 years? About love, the big L.
Love. What's love got to do with it? Channeling Tina Turner.
Yeah.
What advice would you give a young couple?
Talk. Don't make any demands. You can ask for changes, but don't expect or demand anything. Talk. Listen. Talk. Listen. That's all it takes.
I'm Dina.
And I'm Mel.
This is my lover, Mel. And I'm HIV positive. That's the best one you gave me, though. See what I mean?
Well, what was going through my head when I found out about it was, how could this be? Was the first, how could this be, and what does this mean? And I think I kind of went into shock. I kind of went numb. And I told him immediately that it was going to be okay, that we would figure it out. Don't make me cry. It's hard.
It's damn hard.
But I got home and I just gave him a big hug. I told him it's going to be okay.
This is our life as a battery couple, or magnet couple, I guess we call it battery couple,